Hey, we're the Flick Chicks.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Monica.
And this is the podcast where we like to spread positivity and,
Yes.
talk about our faves.
It's nice to have a little positive opinions after last week's episode.
Yeah, it's a complete, opposite of last week's episode. We're going to take it down a notch.
180. Okay. So, yeah, what are we talking about today, Anne?
We are talking about our favorite movies of all time. Top 5.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun. But, yeah, just a little disclaimer. This is not the same thing as our best animated movie. Like,
No.
just notice the difference between best and favorite.
Yes.
So those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about what we
Yeah.
think are the best movies of all time, because that would take
Yeah.
people study years to
that would be crazy.
figure that out. But we're just gonna, and even then, these picks that we're choosing right now are not even like super defined as
No.
like our top 5 favorites. Like, they're just 5 movies that we personally really love,
Yeah.
and just have a little discussion about them.
And
why
we'll
we love them.
elaborate on it more later about like what the difference between maybe like a best critically acclaimed movie and like someone's favorite movie is. Like,
Exactly,
there's
yeah.
definitely a big difference. So we'll just we'll be discussing the concept of favorite movies too, just in general, after we name ours. So
Yes,
gonna be
these are
fun.
just 5 of our picks.
Plus you get to know us a little
yeah.
bit more. I feel like it's
I feel like you get to know our taste in movies. I think I tried to pick some. See, the thing is, I have a lot of favorite movies. Like, I was just telling Anne that I had my I've had a running list of favorite movies for a really long time, because every time someone asks me what's your favorite movie, I always forget.
Yeah.
So every time I think of one, I add it to a list. So I had about 12, I think, on a list.
That's good.
So I chose the ones to talk about today. I tried to find a variety of movies. Like, I specifically picked them because they were ones that I wanted to talk about, and maybe some that people didn't really think of, I guess.
No, yeah, it makes sense. No,
But yeah.
I usually have whenever people would ask me that question, it was always really hard because I've watched so many, and I'd always come up with different answers every single time. Like, I'd be like, So I came up
this
with
one,
2,
and then the next time you're like, wait, never mind.
I came up with 2, so I started just coming up with 2 movies to name that kind of encompass my personality, so people would know what I like. But it's not always true, so maybe I'm a liar. You'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, again, there are so many other movies that I consider my favorites, but we just had to narrow it down to 5,
sure.
and I specifically chose some that I feel like would be fun to talk about. Why?
Yeah.
Because all of them are my favorites for different reasons.
For sure. And we're also going to be giving, little stupid meaningless awards to each movie.
Yeah, a little award show.
Yes, the Flick Chicks Award. But yeah, I think we should dive right into it. So
I think so, yeah. So did you want to start off?
Yeah, I guess I can.
The true
start
nature
off.
of Flick Chicks?
Yeah. Some of these they're gonna be like, well, I know if you're a true fan, you would know some of these already.
If you're a true Flick, what are our fans called?
We did not
Chickers?
Flick Ew, we're working on the name.
Flick Chick Nation.
Oh, that's not bad. It's not the
Flick
best.
Chickenators.
Oh my goodness. I have to start before you ruin
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So obviously one of my favorite movies of all time is Tangled. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. And I'm giving it the same.
Oh, by the way, we don't know what each of our picks are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know one of yours, but
yeah, and I had a feeling I knew some of yours.
Yes. So it's the most romantic movie ever. I will continue to say that till the day I die.
Agreed.
The movie makes me believe in love again,
I feel like it's what introduced me to love, as an actual concept.
Yes. I was like, wow, sacrifice, liking each other despite your flaws. You were my new dream. I just can't. I just can't. I love the movie. I know every single song, all the lyrics. I live, breathe Tangled. I just don't know. It was one of the first movies that I bought myself, with my own money on DVD, back when those were cool. And
they're still cool.
I know. I think so too. And I love it. It's just, it's and also just to say, it made me believe
Disney's
in
higher
Disney.
quality movies.
Yeah, it made me believe in Disney movies again because,
this was after the what's it called? The dead period
drought
of
the
drought. That's the word I was looking for, of the early 2000s Disney movies.
And I feel bad because Princess and the Frog is one of my favorites too, but a lot of people would still put it in the drought period, and Tangled was one of the first movies
to start a new era
and get Disney that coin. You know what I'm saying? Just
exactly. Because then after that you had Frozen and you had all that, like, Tangled walked so Frozen could run. Exactly. That's all I'm gonna say.
And you had Wreck-It Ralph come right after Tangled. Like, it was just like storytelling became the forefront of it again. You know, I felt like they got lost in trying to make cool tricks and things that kids would like.
And I feel like they're still in a drought now. Like, I feel like they went back into a drought right after. Like, that one period from like 2010 to like 2015, like the first half of the 2010s, they were like, okay, like, you're okay, this is good, and then nope, now they're back in the dump.
I don't know. I still think they're sticking with. Well, I don't want to say that about Frozen 2, but most of the movies still kind of stick with good storytelling. But
what new movies has Disney put out other than live action remakes and stuff like that?
Well, Moana came after. Or are you talking about like how recent? Like, what is your timeline? Just to be
like, just of the 2010s, like after Frozen,
Tangled, then it was Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Moana came out. If we're not choosing Pixar, if that's the thing.
No, like not Pixar, just Disney.
Moana came out, Zootopia. I may be forgetting some of the other ones, but
I feel like that's about it, honestly.
And then
I feel like if you don't remember them, then they're probably not that many.
Yeah, but I think and then Frozen 2. Which was
because then there was like Wreck-It Ralph Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. After that, they started just doing sequels and like.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. As in
Inside Out. No, that's Pixar.
No, that's Pixar.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I feel like
they did start
Tangled was the start of a new
sequels.
era.
I agree with you that it was, which is funny because it's like they gave us all these sequels, but then Tangled they just left. I'm not saying I need one, but I'm just like,
no, it's fine the way it is.
It's fine the way it is.
I mean, there's the TV series.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that they picked like Wreck-It Ralph, for example, to do the sequel, but then they didn't do Tangled. Just because I'm like, if you're just going for money, which is what they're doing, let's be honest, I don't get why they wouldn't just go for it.
They probably had to do like a non-princess sequel.
Yeah, probably. That's true. Because
to
Frozen
appeal,
made more
I guess,
money
to all the children. I don't know.
Because there's no way they're making. Are they actually? No, I heard that they are making a Moana sequel.
Oh,
I actually heard that fully. So
I'm fine without one.
Honestly though, I would be okay with the sequel if they
like, I wouldn't hate it, but like I don't need it
because I felt like Moana.
That's what I'm saying.
The first one the plot was really simple. Like there wasn't there wasn't like a deeper message to me really. It was just like this girl loves water, like let her go, you know. So that was
she wants to explore. So
I
love Moana. Moana's really good.
Yeah, if they were to make a second movie, I would. Don't make it if it's not gonna be good though. Like I'm saying, like if they're gonna do a Toy Story 4 kind of thing where they make it even more like elaborate, like they're adding even better to it, I wouldn't mind the Moana sequel, but I don't want to see it unless y'all have a good idea. So if you're not ready to open the box, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, that is my first favorite movie. Yeah,
which is I can see that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Being someone's favorite movie. Okay, so what award did you give it?
Most romantic movie ever. Also,
okay.
I could just put Flynn Rider is probably one of the hottest cartoons.
Cartoons?
Yeah, animated people.
I can jump onto that sentiment. All right. Which one do I talk about first? Yeah, these are in no particular order, but I don't know which one to pull out first. I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, okay. This one, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this, but this is probably the one that I would say is closest to being my favorite movie of all time. So it's Inception.
Oh, you have told me that you really like it. I wouldn't know that it's your favorite of all time, but I would know it's one of your faves. Yeah.
The reason I'm saying this now is because I rewatched it a couple days ago, and it like further solidified.
Yeah.
I recently love that movie.
Watched it. I told you. Remember, we were in the car with my dad and we were talking about how we watched it together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I gave it the award for best mindfuck, aka best like sitting there like what is going on award. Also, the reason I'm saying it's one of my favorites is because I gave it the honorable distinction for rewatchability. Wow, I can't speak today. Rewatchability because I think I've seen it the most out of all of these. Maybe not another one, but I've seen it, and I feel like every time I watch it, even though I know exactly what's going to happen, I'm still like on the edge of my seat. Even though I know exactly, like I know, spoiler alert, I mean, and if you haven't seen Inception, go watch it, but I mean, spoiler alert, I know that they like get out at the end. That's all I'm gonna say. But I know that they get out at the end, but it's still like my heart is still like racing when I watch it. I'm like, oh my god, they need to get out. Like they have only this much time, and it's like every time I watch it, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I feel like once you watch it a couple times, you actually start to really understand the story because it is kind of confusing.
That's true. Yeah.
Because it's like the whole dream within a dream within a dream thing. But I just think like it's so like gets my heart racing, and I love a movie where it finishes and I'm left like thinking about it for like time after. I think I've said this before too, but like I love where I can just sit there and be like just sit there for a minute and like gather my thoughts and be like, okay, wait a minute, what is going on? Like I love those type of endings, like ambiguous endings. That's
I do
shit.
like ambiguous. Yeah. No, I think I cheated with that movie because I was watching it with people who had already watched it. So my confusion was less confusion than most people
they probably
felt.
Explained it to you.
But
yeah.
I think that was good because I was like,
I watched it with my dad and he was watching it for the first time and I had to explain to him like so many things because I'm like, no, okay, so they do this and then they do this and then
we couldn't even agree on like what was right though. It was like, no, this is what they're doing, and he's like, no, isn't this what they're doing? And I'm like, no, they're in the dream, in the dream, in the dream, so she dies and blah blah blah, like a bunch of stuff.
No, I just love the concept of it. Christopher Nolan is an amazing director. There's a lot of movies from him that I love. But yeah, Inception, like after rewatching it a couple days ago, like I had already seen it a couple times and I knew that every time I watched it I loved it, but when I watched it again a couple days ago, I'm like, okay, this really is like one of my favorite movies. Like I never get tired of it.
Yeah.
And the whole movie I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, okay, this is great. So yeah, I gave it best mind fuck because it really does mess with your mind a little bit. And yeah, that's one of mine.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, these are all top tier. I'm not disappointed to yet, but you know, y'all just wait.
I don't think any of mine are gonna disappoint you. I don't think I didn't pick any stupid ones.
I think mine are like, you can tell I'm a little girl. That's basically and you can tell by my picks. Anyways, my other favorite movie, I would say this is I don't want to say that actually. I was gonna say the movie I rewatched the most, but no, that's not true. I rewatched.
That's what I'm saying. I think Inception's the one I rewatched the most, like now.
Yeah, recently.
You know what I mean? I'll explain it more when I get to my next one, but there's definitely one that I've seen more.
This is the movie I probably, grew up with the most. I'd say one of the oldest movie. This is the oldest movie on here. It's not that old. Okay, it's She's the Man.
That's such a good one.
Every time I gave it this award, still cracks me up every time award. Like I laugh out loud every time.
I just love Channing Tatum and like this when he like just anything he does in this movie.
He was just so weird. Like I love his body comedy is so good in this one. Like his physical comedy, if you will. That's what.
Yeah.
It's Amanda Bynes in her
I feel like
prime.
every time I hear about that movie, like I associate it with you, I think.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually really nice.
Yeah.
The utmost compliment I can receive.
I feel like maybe, I don't know if you used to talk about it a lot or I don't know.
Probably.
But
I make references to that movie all the time. It's just
that's
quoting
definitely
it, I just love it.
Like it's such a classic 2000s. It has like the perfect mix of like 2000s rom-com, high school, like
exactly.
Shakespeare adaptation. Like it checks every box.
2000s, and it's like the nice stuff, early 2000s.
It's all the good things about the early 2000s movies.
I feel like it's a movie that, how people go like classic 90s movie. This is the classic early 2000s.
Oh, 100%.
It'll keep coming back. I love it. Love it.
Oh, I haven't seen it in a while. I need to rewatch it.
Exactly. It's like when my newfound, like my resurgence of the love for the movie came again after my other friend's like, I have to give credit to her. It's her top like favorite movie, like almost of all time, basically. And I was like, yeah, it's really good. And then I rewatched it again, and I was like, bro, this is amazing. The pace is, there's never a dull moment. That's what I love about that movie.
And it's funny. It's so funny. But then you get the romance.
Yes, and it's like you don't even like, all the characters are lovely to me. Like I just think they're hilarious. I love it. I love it a lot.
I love it.
Okay, yeah. She's the Man. Came out in 2006. I want them to re-release it in theaters.
I wouldn't mind that, honestly.
Well, I would pay, so they should.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to do like a remake of it.
I just feel like they would make it so bad. Like knowing the world we are in today, I just feel like they would ruin it. Or make Amanda
Bynes in her peak.
I know, and I miss her.
You know what else I really liked? This is not on my list, but another Amanda Bynes movie that I loved as a kid was what is it called? Sydney White.
White. Ah, I knew it.
I loved
so
Sydney
cute.
White. Every time that comes on like TV or whatever, I'll always watch it. Like if it's playing on one of those like movie channels or whatever. I used to love. I think I watched it in theaters.
Yeah.
Too.
I loved it because it was one of the only modern adaptations of Snow White. Like they do Cinderella all the time, but Snow White is never done, and I really liked it. So it was
I loved like Sarah Paxton's whatever her name is character, like the sorority girl thing. She's and whatever. I love that movie too. But yeah, Amanda Bynes in her peak. Chef's
Beautiful.
Okay, so my next one, I'm gonna get this one out of the way because it's super obvious, obviously, but super obvious, obviously. Wow, I am English today is fantastic. It's super obvious, but Parasite is my next one on the list. I know, who would have thought? And I gave it the Modern Classic Award because I think that this one, well, A, it's the newest one on my list, but B, like you just know it's going to be a classic movie. Like people are going to be like studying this movie in film school, and it's going to be in the history books. Like it's going to be a classic, and it's already a classic. But also it's just like it checks every single box for me for like things that I love in movies. It has a little comedy, a little drama, a little, excitedness, like thriller aspects. It has even a little bit of horror. It has everything you could want. I mean, questionably, it has a little bit of romance. But
I was going to say,
it's a little, they kiss at some point. And this, like, it's honestly, I also probably, I was thinking about giving it like the cinematography award, but I feel like that would be just super lame. But it does get the cinematography award because you literally, there's something new to find in the cinematography every time you watch it. Like I've watched so many YouTube videos, and every time I learn something new about the way it was shot and like certain things placed in certain ways to symbolize different things. Like it's so genius. Like I know Bong Joon-ho is a
whoever did this,
whoever made this, it's like whoever that person may be.
The first thing in the credits, and
Bong Joon-ho is a genius, and all the people who worked with him, like the set designers. Shout out to the set designers, honestly, because that whole set was like made from scratch or whatever. The set designers, Bong Joon-ho, the cinematographers, the writers, everyone, like it is such a great movie, and I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. Maybe I won't be able to watch it as much as I watch Inception, but I know I've seen it a bunch of times already. I've seen it maybe 4 or 5 times, and it's still like I just watch it every time, and I'm like, this is such a good movie. Like it's so good.
Yes.
And it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
And it's an Oscar winner, so there you go. Put that in your back pocket.
And yeah, I'll never forget watching it in like the theater, and just like everyone was just like laughing throughout the whole first half, and then it was just like dead silent in the second half.
Yeah. I feel like the theater experience would have been really dope.
I know. I wish it had gotten a more wide release.
Yeah.
Like I know eventually it got into all theaters, but I wish it like got released all at the same time, kind of thing, where everyone could go and watch it, because it, like I feel like more people should have had the experience of watching it in theaters. Yeah. But I luckily got to do that. Well, I watched it technically at like a film festival, but it was pretty much a movie theater.
Oh yeah, you did tell me. That's pretty niche.
Yeah, and it was just so fun to watch it with like a bunch of other people who were all like, because I had already seen it at that point, so everyone was just like and they were like laughing and then whatever, and then it was like, yeah, it was so satisfying, because right after the lights went up and my brother was like, that was the best movie I've ever seen in my life, and I'm like, thank you. Exactly, because I had been yelling at him for like a month or 2 months to watch it. So
yeah, I know.
It's just that movie. You know what? I'll give it another word. That movie that I'll never stop recommending to people.
Oh, nice.
You know, it's like if you haven't watched Parasite, what are you doing? Like, go watch it right now, like before you watch anything else.
Yes. So finish this podcast and then go watch it. Yes.
Yes, that's my.
You got to stop leading people away from our podcast, girl. Every time she mentioned Parasite, she's like, "Go watch it right now," and I'm like,
"Okay, not right now. After this podcast is over." Exactly. You can close your app, whatever you're watching it on, and then go watch it. Go actually watch it and then come back and listen to our review.
Yes. Duh. Double whammy.
Roasting Movies by the Fire, episode 2, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah.
Y'all do that. Okay. So we're going on to my third favorite movie. Okay. If y'all don't know me, there's one thing you gotta know about me. Is that I love rom-coms. So I could not leave this list without putting one on there. And I don't think you would know this about me, but this I watched this movie, like, I think this is the rom-com I've rewatched the most, other than He's Just Not That Into You, too.
I don't know what this is.
It's Life as We Know It. It's not that popular as a...
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
I was not
as a
expecting
movie.
that.
But it's with Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel, and I cry every time. I just love the movie. It's the one rom-com I make a lot of people I know watch, especially people who don't like rom-coms. I feel like it's good for them because there's an added layer of, like, grief, you know? I think...
Yeah, it's like a really sad concept.
Yeah, it is a really sad concept. And there's like, you know, there's a lot of different elements that people can, you know, attach themselves to. So I think it was a really unique idea. I loved it. I have fun with it every time. I love babies, so, you know,
it is a different concept for like that era of rom-com. Like it's kind of the era of like 27 Dresses, like all that kind. It's like that late 2000s, I want to call it,
like 2010s movies, yeah.
I think it was before 2010.
No, it was.
But like it's like I'm talking like okay, like I'm talking like 2007, 8, 9, 10, like that kind of era of rom-coms. It was a different, like pretty different concept.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like past 2010 is kind of a little bit different, but
I mean, like, as in itself, it's like around that time it was mostly all like, oh, friends with benefits and like no strings like attached, that kind of thing. But then you had this concept which was like totally different.
I like that it was a rom-com that took itself seriously and it was still successfully done. I think I will always talk about this. I hate that rom-coms are not taken seriously as movies, but then you'll have like movies that are literally rom-coms, but they have a little violence in it, and then people are like, this is like the best. AKA, I'm talking about Deadpool. If y'all could... Deadpool is a rom-com. Do not like fight me on this one. The whole concept is him trying to get his girlfriend back, okay? Let's be real. Yeah, he's killing people.
I think it's just... I think it's the concept of like... any movie that seems to be geared towards women is automatically written off.
Exactly. So and it makes me so mad. Like, I'm like, don't talk to me like this is not a real genre, okay? If you watch your stupid little... Like, I feel like comedy movies are also awarded so much more, but I'm like, they're also just as juvenile if you really want to talk about it. But...
literally, yeah.
Yes, like, I'm like, oh, she pooped on the street. Like, cool. Like, I just... Anyway.
That's Bridesmaids.
Yes.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah, literally. Neighbors, like, he falls over a fence. Like, oh, fine. Like, I'm just saying.
I hate that movie.
I know. Life as We Know It. Beautiful movie. Loved it. It's funny. It's sweet. It's a tearjerker. I liked it. I loved it. And I watch it. Yeah, like, I
liked it. I've seen it a couple times.
I watch it all the time. Like, I even put it on in the background, and not even in a bad way, because I always end up, like, paying attention after. But I love it. And the award I gave it is very lame. It's... Oh, actually, I'm going to go back. I originally wrote the second most romantic movie ever. But let's go with, you know, I would say at least for me, the most critically acclaimed rom-com I can think of in that era. I can't think of like old.
Really? Yeah. I just looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes and I got a 29.
Oh yeah, on Rotten Tomatoes, do not get me started on them. That's why I would torch them. No, sorry, not like factually. I said according to me. It's like
I got it.
Critically
as in like sound. I am a critic.
Like if I was a critic, I'd be like, this is actually like I could actually fight and say that this is a good movie. The people who wrote 29, I read the reviews. I was like, please make sense. It was just like them being like, oh, this was a poor attempt at being cute. And I was like, is there facts here? Like, can you...
No, that's not a fact.
I hate it. Anyways, yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't expecting that one. That's like kind of that movie that's always in the background of like my mind.
Yeah.
I've seen it on run on TV a couple of times and I watched it and it was fine. Yeah. It's cute.
It's good.
All right. So my third movie pick, I gave it like a weird award. I kind of, as a joke, called it the Ruin Your Childhood Award. Because I feel like this movie was like, it is my childhood. Like if I had to pick one movie that encapsulates the movies I watched as a kid, it would definitely be this one. But also I feel like it's much darker than usual childhood movies, and it kind of like... Anyways, my pick is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, really? I would have never known that about you. The one with the blonde kid?
No, that's the old one. The one with Freddie Highmore. Yeah, the Johnny Depp, Tim Burton.
That's the one you're talking about.
Adaptation. Yes,
Okay,
the 2005
okay.
adaptation of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's the old one. But Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a movie that I like would watch all the time as a kid.
Really?
I had it on like DVD, so I would put it in the DVD player, and it's not really like a kid's movie. It's a Tim Burton movie, so it still has pretty dark things, and I just love that because the original story of Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory, like the original story was obviously a kid's book, and then the movie adaptation from the 60s, I think 60s or 70s, I don't remember, the original movie was still kind of like childlike.
That's the blonde kid one, the 60s one.
Yeah, it was still kind of childlike with, you know, obviously some dark undertones because the movie, like the story itself is pretty dark. Like these kids like get picked off one by one or whatever. So I love that Tim Burton took this adaptation and really like highlighted the dark aspects of it. Especially with like, I don't know, because the thing is I've seen the original one, but I totally forget it. I totally forget what happened in it. But I like how they went into Willy Wonka's like backstory. I love that intertwining like storyline of him as a kid. And then now I love the acting, like I don't know, the whole vibe of the movie. It's just like, it's so like interesting to me. It's like very Tim Burton and it fits the story to me so well. And the songs slap, like they're actually so good.
I only know one, to be honest. The oompa doompa doobity doo.
No, that's not even in the new movie.
What? Oh.
No, they took it out.
What? Okay,
so like that's what I'm saying,
because
because they took out the like childish aspects of it and made it like an actual dark movie, which is like, I love that. But yeah, they have like the Oompa Loompas singing songs like for every kid or whatever, and then they have that song at the beginning that they sing. Like I'm gonna point out this part as like why I think they did so well with making it darker. But in the original song, obviously there's that song that's like Willy Wonka,
yeah,
and the famous that one. But in the new movie, these like robots sing it, and then the robots catch fire and start melting and break. Like that's literally the scene. Like it's at the beginning of the movie too. So it's just like, this is what it's gonna be like. We're killing off your childhood dreams.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a dark movie, and I loved it as a kid. Like it's like every time I watch, and the thing is, I have rewatched it a couple times. Like recently, like I want to say in the past like year, and I still love it, like for nostalgic reasons, but also I feel like I appreciate more like the whole vibe of it, as I said before. Yeah, I just love this movie.
Wow.
It's so good.
I don't know, I think I grew up with the 60s one more, to be honest, though, because like now that I'm giving the references and you're like, no, that's not the one, I'm like, oh, oops.
Yeah.
So
and yeah, sorry, Johnny Depp's performance, absolutely fantastic in this one too.
I remember Johnny Depp.
I didn't even know it was Johnny
well.
Depp for the longest time.
He's unrecognizable in all his movies. Like I'm never like,
right?
He's so good at like, okay, whatever,
becoming a character.
Like, do I even know what he looks like on a Tuesday? I wouldn't know. I don't think so. No. Like I'm like, is that? That's
what I'm saying. When I was a kid and I looked up the actor and I was like, wait, is that him? Like that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't.
I feel
even
like
look
his
like
jawline changed. Like everything.
I don't know what they did to his face. Like I honestly don't know.
Bruh.
But yeah.
No, but I hadn't honestly I haven't watched the movie as much, so I can't say too much on it. But I was always confused with what the lesson was, which was like I was like,
and I think that's what the point was. Like the newer one, they kind of like showed where it's like, this movie doesn't really have a lesson. It's just crazy. Like it's literally just like highlighting how stupid the whole thing is. Where it's like all these kids are like, you know what I mean? Where it's like it's so like melodramatic, and it's so like the newer one. I mean, like they highlight how like, you know, dramatic everything is and how fantastical the whole idea of it is, and they like, you know, hone in on that, and it really is like super fun to watch.
Yeah. That's cute.
But
that's
yeah,
cool,
and
cool,
like
cool.
yeah, the performances were really good. I loved it. I love the scene where it's like they're cutting back and forth between all the kids when they each find the golden ticket in like the different cities or whatever. I think I love that part.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's my third pick. Love that movie. I kind of want to go rewatch it now.
I'm definitely probably 100% gonna rewatch one of the movies on this list.
Oh, 100%.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I haven't already, because and just to know, I'm a rewatcher. Like I will soak out the life of a movie. Like I'll be like,
Me too.
I've seen it this many times. I know like even movies I just like, I will rewatch them.
Me too.
So like, okay, I have too much time on my hands, guys. Is that what it is?
That's,
you know, how
who doesn't have too much time on their hands right now?
People are like, oh, like with social distancing, I've been, rewatch, and I was like, I've been doing that before.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, okay, we'll just pretend that this is a new thing. Okay, I'm going on to this is my second last movie. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I feel like you might be able to hear my dog barking in the background.
Hi, Oscar. You're gonna be able to probably guess this one too if you've listened to the podcast. It is How to Train Your Dragon.
Your dragon, yep.
Of course. How could you not? The 2010s, baby, was just a year for me. I was ready.
You were thriving.
Yeah, I know. Tangled
living
came
your
out.
best life.
How to Train Your Dragon came out. Life as We Know It came out. I didn't watch Life as We Know It in 2010, though. I was not old enough. But.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but it was, How to Train Your Dragon. I just can't, I just can't explain. I love
your love for this movie.
I
By the
love
way,
this
you can
movie.
also reference back to our best animated movies of all time video to hear more of Anne discussing how much she loves this movie.
I'm not even going to go too much into it because I go into it in that one. But just so you know, I own the soundtrack. You know, I'm ready. I'm waiting on I was about to buy a toothless stuffed animal, but, you know, this stuff happened, so I couldn't go get one. I will be getting one after. I love that movie. It makes me, literally just the soundtrack makes me cry because it makes me feel like I can fly. I just don't. It makes me feel like things. I'm going to be honest. I don't even like animals like that. You know, I'm not really checking for animals. I'm just like, yeah.
You're not an animal person.
I'm not an animal person, but this movie.
It made you a dragon person.
It made me a dragon person. I wish dragons were real. One of the biggest things of my life is I wish they were real. And I would be friends with them. Are you kidding? And they like fish like me. I love fish. We love fish together. I just love this movie. The ending. I just don't know. The ending is what really solidified it for me. Like, I was like, you know, this movie's good. Like, I'm having fun. And then the end, man loses his leg. There's real stakes, you know, like it's not kitty, like people actually get hurt in a war, and that's realistic. And I love this whole, like, you know, this is Burke, like, we have dragons, you know, it snows like 300 times a year, but, you know, whatever, you got fire breathing reptiles, so what do you want?
Yeah,
I just literally, this movie is near perfect. The only thing I would ever, like, change about it is maybe, like, find out who are Astrid's parents. Like, that's the only thing I care about, maybe, but that's about it. Love this movie. The award I gave it is, it's the reason I kind of want to make movies award. Like, seriously, like, I look at this movie and I'm like, it took itself seriously as a movie. It's like, we're animated, but we're serious. This is not, animation isn't for kids. And I will continue to say this forever. It's not just for kids. It's for kids, but it's also for adults. Okay? AKA me. And this movie, again, 2010 was the revival. They restarted, they rebooted. They were like, animation is coming back. And I think 2010 was just a year for it. But How to Train Your Dragon, one of my favorite movies ever. I'm done. I can't talk.
Yeah. If you don't know Anne, then now you know. This is her personality.
Yes, yeah.
Your personality trait is that.
Is How to Train a Dragon. Don't need to explain it anymore. Yeah.
Okay. So my fourth pick is trying to figure out which one I should talk about first. I think I'll talk about this one first. So my fourth pick is a movie called Bad Genius.
Oh.
And not a lot of people know about this movie, but it's a Thai movie.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's from Thailand. It's on Netflix. I feel like I have to say that because I feel like most people don't know what this is, but it's on Netflix.
Yeah, because I was like, how did you find this? But yeah.
Yeah, well, I found it because of Twitter. Someone on Twitter made like a thread of like, movies you've never heard of but are like really good that you should watch or whatever it was. And Bad Genius was one of them, and it is so good. So if I'm going to say the little premise of it because I feel like not a lot of people know it, but it's basically, so it's like a heist movie set in like high school. So basically this girl, she's like a like super smart prodigy, whatever, but she comes from like a poor family and she's going to this like super prestigious boarding school, or not boarding school, like prep school or whatever.
On a scholarship?
And on a scholarship.
Okay.
But basically I feel like I'm forgetting the whole premise of it now, but basically this girl in her class enlists her to help her cheat on her tests in exchange for like payment. Obviously, like she gets paid to help other kids cheat on their exams.
Oh, okay.
So obviously the stakes get higher, and then there's like this big final like university entrance exam, and it's like this whole big plan. Like they have this super super elaborate plan to get her to help
Write
them cheat on
someone's
this test.
Oh.
Because so she can get money, and like she's telling her dad that she's doing piano lessons. That's where she's getting the money from. But it's like the stakes get super high, and I gave it the award for like the best fall off the edge of your seat, because you're so far off the edge of your seat that you literally fall off award, because it's so intense. Like it's literally like it's a heist movie, but you're not stealing anything. You're cheating on a test, but like it's super fun to watch. Like it's like you know what I mean. Like your heart is racing, and like. Yeah,
Lots
like
of
the stakes
tension.
are super high. That's all I'm gonna say.
Did she get like promised like a lot of money for the final exam? Is that why she's like so
I think it's just because she helped so many kids for the final exam. Like I don't want to spoil it, but it starts out with her helping her one friend, and then it grows to more and more and more people.
And she feels some kind of like, I'm trying to see her motive, like why she would go through all this trouble to do it is because
for money, because like she's
okay.
poor. Yeah.
Oh, she's
from
like
a
really
poor
poor.
family.
Okay.
Not really poor, but she lives with like a single dad, and like they don't really have, and like if someone's offering you all this money,
yeah,
you
like
know
it's a
what I
lot. Okay, no, I was
it's
just
a lot of money
see if
because
it was a lot,
but like again, I don't want to spoil it much, but by the final sequence, like she's helping out like hundreds of kids.
Okay, I see.
All at once.
Yes.
So it's a large sum of money.
Okay, I see. It's like worth, yeah. Because heist.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's worth all the trouble, because then she can, she's rich, I guess. But because all these kids at the school are all rich kids, and obviously none of them want to actually do school. So.
Bunch of dummies.
And also you have the stakes too is like it's the university entrance exam, so it's like
for uni. Okay, I did not.
Yeah, people need this test to get into university, so it's super. Yeah, it's super intense. I love it.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so it's not a spoiler. But if she gets away with it, that's gonna be a high dropout rate in that year.
100%. But
like
that's like the movie. Also, like I like recently I've been recommending to a lot of people because it's like it's on Netflix, but a lot of people don't know about it, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It actually has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh damn!
So you know, and that's really hard to come by. One hundo. It's
How
a
Train
really,
Your Dragon
really
doesn't even have a hundo.
I know. That's why it's so good. Like the acting is really good, and like again the what's it called? The high stakes. It's really really intense. You will literally fall off your chair. Like I remember watching it for the first time. My heart was racing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah.
I do hate love suspense. It's like, it hurts my heart.
Like I said, it is a heist movie, even though it's not your typical heist movie. I just love how it's like set in high school, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, guys. This is my last favorite movie. Okay. I actually think this is. Nah, I can't say that again. But still, I think it is the movie I've rewatched the most. It's the movie I watch when I'm feeling down. Like, I'm like, I need a pick-me-up. I need something to help me, Okay?
Yeah.
It is. And it just shows that I'm a Disney girl. It's very obvious to
Yeah.
It's Guardians of the Freaking Galaxy, released in 2014. I gave it the Defying Expectations Award because... that's basically what it did. Everyone went into the movie, like, at least, like, I could say, speak on behalf of Marvel fans, at least. They went into the movie being like, who are these? Like, who is this? Like, who? Huh? Like, everyone did not know what this movie was about, what it was going to be. And it's like the first wave of people went in and then came out and were like, this is actually really good. And then it started, like, trickling down. So I was definitely not part of the first wave because I was like... for what? And then people told me it was good, so I went to see it. And I love this movie. I think it's hilarious. I'm a big fan of Chris Pratt.
As a non-Marvel fan, I actually really did enjoy this movie.
Yeah,
really
I think it's like one of the only Marvel movies that I'm like, it's just a movie, bruh. Like, it's like not... yeah. It's not...
it's a separate thing.
Exactly, especially that it was about heroes that you don't know anything about. You didn't need to know anything. Like, people... I get it's a legitimate complaint when people say I don't get Marvel movies, especially in the early days, because it was like, this is the beginning. I shouldn't have to know the 10,000 references you have given me, but I thought it was a good movie. It's hilarious. I love Zoe Saldana, love Chris Pratt. What is it? Who else who's Rocket Raccoon? I know him. What's his name? Silver Linings Playbook guy, but I forgot his name.
Bradley Cooper?
Bradley Cooper. freaking the. I think that. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name. The guy who. Oh, Dave Bautista. He's a wrestler, okay? And then he performs so well. Like, everything he says, I'm like, how do you say that with a straight face? Like, I would literally die. Like, he's like, oh, he's so good. He's actually, I'm sorry, move aside, Rock. Dave Bautista is the best freaking wrestler to actor thing
oh my God.
ever. I can't. I mean, I'm sorry. I loved it. I love every second of it. I watch it all the time. It's just it's like a really good lighthearted movie that I'm able to sit and like watch and enjoy. It's just it makes me feel good. Again, it's just, and I love the humor behind it. I love movies that encourage improv and shows that encourage improv. I think it's always amazing to see like what actors can kind of do in terms of like
it is like script. Super funny. Like,
exactly. I loved it. It's such a feel good movie. And I love it. I don't have anything else to say. It's the best. I love it. That's my last favorite movie. And just to give context, Guardians of the Galaxy and Tangled are usually the two movies I tell people are my favorite movies. Right. I feel like that makes the most sense, as in like you can tell what kind of comedy I like, and then you could also tell what kind of like storytelling I like. So I just go with those two. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Not mad at it at all.
Thank you.
Okay, so this last one, so I gave it, it's funny you mentioned the playing in the background kind of thing, but I gave this movie the award for best background movie.
Oh, nice.
Not because it deserves to be played in the background, but it's just one of those movies that
just works, yeah.
It's just like, it's like a feel good movie, not too serious, not too like intense, kind of, you can just put it on and relax and do other things and just have it on in the background. Super fun. Yeah. So I picked the movie Chef. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a Jon Favreau movie. So Jon Favreau's a guy who he's directed a whole bunch of like Disney movies and stuff like that, but he's also an actor. He directed and starred and wrote this movie. It's like also starring like Sofia Vergara and stuff like that. But basically the concept of the movie, if you've never heard of it, is this guy who's like a super fancy like chef. He goes like he is having trouble like at his restaurant. Things happen, and then he ends up kind of quitting and then deciding to buy a food truck and starting a food truck business. Basically,
I think I've seen the commercial for it.
Probably, I feel like everyone's maybe like heard, like seen it, or be like, oh, that movie kind of thing. He brings his like young son, like, so him and Sofia Vergara are like divorced and they have a child together. So he brings his son like across the country and they like go and do the food truck and stuff like that. And honestly, like one of the reasons I love this movie is because, especially with modern movies, there's always that thing where it's like, okay, you have it starts out and then you have like the, what is it called? I only know it in French,
incident,
but the incident, whatever. The incident that happens that like sets off the plot, and then obviously like things happen, but then there's like that part of the end where it's like one final bad thing happens and then they have to fix it. But this movie doesn't really have that. It kind of like, its incident is like at the beginning, and then the rest of the movie kind of just plays out. Like nothing bad ever really happens. Like nothing, there's no like moment
there's no
where
turning point.
There's no really turning point at the end. It kind of just, the movie just kind of happens, and it's like, it's super like chill and it's super like realistic. I think like nothing bad really has to happen. Like you would think like with a movie with a food truck, maybe he's like doing the food truck and at the end, like, I don't know, the food truck breaks down at one point and he can't afford to fix it, or at the end of the movie, and then finally like literally nothing happens like that. They just do their thing, and it's like super, it's such a feel good movie. I feel like it's not really known for that, but it's a really feel good movie, and I feel super like refreshed watching it. And there's lots of good food. Like it's basically, the movie was made with Jon Favreau's like love of food involved, like as the centerpiece, I guess. Nice. Because he like, and I'm just looking at like the Wikipedia page for it right now, but basically he did this movie because he wanted to go back to the basics, because he directs a lot of like big budget epic like movies and stuff like that. Like most recently he directed the live action remake of The Lion King, like that kind of thing. But this movie is like the total opposite of that. It's like this indie, like, chill movie, and like it makes sense where he's like, I want to go back to the basics and highlight like his love of and talk about his love of food. And they got this like this actual chef to like consult for like the food in the movie, and it's like, it's just it's a super good movie. Scarlett Johansson is in it too, but she's not that annoying in it, so it's okay.
Robert Downey Jr. I just saw it on the
Yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. So it's like, yeah, it's like that's why I gave it best background movie, because I feel like I want to give a little power to that position where it's like, you know, it's okay to just leave a movie on in the background, because it's just that type of movie, and there's like a good, like, there's good soundtracks, and like it's just like a fun thing to watch. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
I just always come out of it feeling so happy.
That's good. I love that about some movies. Like, I feel like you definitely,
yeah.
you feel
That's what I'm saying. If you need something a little chill, if you need something a little chill, something to make you feel a little good, I recommend this movie. It's really good.
No, it's good. Sometimes I look at these and I'm like, a lot of these are like mid 2010s, if that makes sense. Or early 2000s. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, my only one that's before 2010 is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. So I'm just like, sometimes I wonder, like, there's so much more time to have that. Like, just like you've added Parasite to your movies because it came out. So sometimes I wonder, like, what... I'm just kind of moving on from our list. I'm just talking about movies in general.
No, yeah.
I think it's kind of dope to think about what new movies are going to be added. I think I'm going to start making a list, like you're saying, like a list of movies that I
feel like it's nice to have a running list because you can see how it changes over time and that kind of thing.
I know. I feel like it's pretty dope. I do have some honorable mentions.
I was just about to say, did you want to go through some honorable mentions?
Did.
I think I just thought of a couple. Now that you said it,
I'm just going to name them really quick because I just love them too. Obviously, he's just not that into you. The movie taught me not to be a simp, okay? It's stop chasing men. Stop doing it. Don't do it. If he likes you, he's going to come to you. So I learned that.
Exactly. I have not learned that yet, but it's okay.
Yeah. Tarzan is actually, factually, the movie I've rewatched the most because it's been around for longer. So, like, I've been watching it since I was younger. Little Mermaid. Love that movie. I think it has the best soundtrack, period.
Little Mermaid, of course.
Yeah.
I was just singing the other day. I was like humming the part of that world. I don't know why.
Your world, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
No, like I think it's the movie, their Disney movie that won the most like awards for soundtrack parts. Like a lot of its songs
probably
won like individual awards, so it was pretty dope. I love that. I think those are Edge of 17. I love that movie.
I love Edge of 17. While we're saying that, that was not on my list. Let me add it.
Yeah, put it on.
I totally forgot about that.
I just feel it's actually one of the only, if not the only, slice of life movie that I like. Like everything else, I'm not a big fan.
Coming of age, like that is like.
I usually think those are so cheesy. Like I'm like, I don't need to watch this little girl discover herself. I usually don't care. You know, I'm kind of mean. But
it's like it's super relatable, but not in like an annoying way where it's trying to be relatable. I think it's like
I think it's relatable because I am more messy than these other girls, and usually in other movies, it's like there's nothing. She doesn't really do anything. She's maybe like a shy girl, and then she discovers to have her voice. And I don't know. I've never related to that because I'm not really a shy person. It's more like I had to like figure out who I was or like what I was trying to represent or what I'm doing. You know. And she's messy. Like she says messy things. She says rude things, and like I feel
like she's really like I like her character. Like she's super flawed.
Exactly.
Let's just honorably add this to our list, even though as both of our sixth pick, because I totally forgot about that one.
I know that movie.
But I love that movie. It's so good.
It's so good, and I love the chemistry between Haley Steinfeld and freaking what's his name. The teacher.
The teacher. Woody Harrelson.
Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson as an actor, period. But yeah.
I feel like I need to highlight, though, that Blake Jenner, who's in this movie, we don't claim him.
Who's that?
We pretend he's not there. Her brother, the character who plays her brother, the guy who plays her brother.
Yeah, what about him? What does he do?
He's an abuser.
Oh! What? No!
Yeah.
Oopsies. Okay, well...
So yeah, we
all got skeletons
don't pay attention
in our closet,
to that.
You know, okay. So
yeah, I don't think of him as in this movie. He's just kind of there. His character is there, but yeah, we don't claim him. We don't condone him.
He's not who he is. He's an actor. He did a job. He won't get any more jobs. That's it.
It's a past. Yeah, it's a past movie. So we did not know that at the time.
Damn,
but yes,
I didn't know that about. I don't look up actors, and I feel like this is why I'm just.
Well, it came out. This is a little off topic, but it came out a couple weeks ago. Not a couple weeks ago. It was like a couple months ago.
Oh, so it's recent.
Ex-girlfriend. Yeah, his ex-girlfriend released like a video on Instagram where she explained everything.
Wait, is she? It's not the Superwoman girl, is it? Supergirl?
It is the Superwoman
girl.
Oh
no! I watched that video, but she didn't say They didn't.
She didn't say who it was, but it was really obvious.
It was so
because
bad.
like what she said like matched up with around the time, like things that she said and did around the time where they were
he's
dating.
Physical guys. Okay, that's.
Like I'm saying like abuser.
Wow.
Yes.
No. Oh man. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I loved him on Glee, so it makes me really sad. But
okay, we're
fuck
moving on.
him.
We're moving on. I know the actor, ugly.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Just a couple of my honorable mentions.
Yes.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh, I remember you. Yeah, you do love that movie.
It used to be one of my favorite movies. So when people would ask, I used to say that movie.
I know. I actually
it's
knew
still
that.
One of my favorites.
Remember that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's still one of my favorites. That's probably my favorite. Like, I don't know if it's a rom-com or like just romantic.
It is a rom-com
movie.
Yeah.
It's super like real, I think, and I love Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper's chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
I just love this movie. This is also a feel-good movie. Like, it might not seem like it at first. It definitely like takes a while to get you there, but at the end it's like it makes you so happy at the end.
I'm a sucker for happy endings. Yes.
Yeah. Another one, another childhood movie of mine is definitely Matilda. I love the movie Matilda. Cute. I used to watch that all the time as a kid too.
Where kidnapping is legal. You know, her teacher just takes her and I'm like,
God. Like it's such a wild like concept for a movie, but I just love it so much. Again, another feel good movie. You can tell I love. The two things that I love, and we're gonna get into this later, is feel good endings, or like either give me a feel good ending or give me an ending that'll like mess up my brain. Mm-hmm. No in between.
Yeah.
And then my final what was I gonna say? Honorable mention is Ratatouille.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Because I just love movies about food. I love
food, and I love the soundtrack for
cooking.
That movie. People sleep on that, but it's really good.
It's really, really good.
Makes me want to go to Paris so bad. Ugh. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are our favorite movies.
Yeah.
So should we just do one question time?
Yeah, I think we can do the one question that you had. I think it'll be
okay. So my question for you, Anne, and that I'll discuss too, is what would you say is your recipe for a great movie in your own taste? Is
it for a great movie or for a favorite movie?
For something that you would like, not what you think in general would make a good movie, but what is
gonna go straight to my heartstrings and make me.
What ingredients would a movie need to brew up for it to go straight to your heartstrings?
I think I'm gonna name 5 ingredients. I feel like we love 5s here, so just keep going with that. 1, romance. I'm sorry if there's no romance in a movie. I've already checked out a small part of my brain. I just need. I love love. I love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see it. I need to exactly. I need love. I love romance. I feel like you should just sprinkle it in any movie done well. Don't do it ugly but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Romance has to be in it. If I just feel like a movie can be awesome, but if I don't like the romance, it's already gonna be like lower on the scale just because there's gonna be some other movie that has it and I'm gonna love it better. Romance, comedy. Okay, I need to laugh. Are you kidding me? I love laughing. I don't know how else to say.
Love laughing.
And
live, love, laugh.
Live, love, laugh. I just don't. And also to be specific, I'm not a fan of like slapstick type of comedy, things like American Pie, like The Hangover, Neighbors.
No. What's that one? Hot Tub.
I ain't with it. I ain't with it.
Time travel.
Yes, no.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Okay, yeah, put it away. Bridesmaids. I need clever, witty humor. I need it to be, or I need it to divert expectations, as in, like, Guardians isn't necessarily clever, witty, even though I think it is, but, whatever. But it's more, like, random, like, stupid stuff. Like, you know how people talk.
Like, it's like that. It's, like, back to the basics, like, stupid humor type of thing, but it's still funny because it's set within, like, a superhero movie.
Especially, like, Dave Bautista, every time, he's, like, so literal, so it's hilarious. Like, everything. He's like, you don't want to hear about how your parents made love? They would tell us every Christmas morning. I can't with this guy. Anyways, I just love defying expectations. I feel like, so that kind of comedy is good for me. Do not give me, like, he fell in his butt kind of comedy. It's not always funny to me. Okay?
No.
I need a deeper message or lesson. Simple plots are okay, but, and I enjoy a simple plot, but I need the plot to dive into some kind of, like, I should know what the theme is coming out of the movie. Like, if it was, like, trauma, if it was, I don't know, nature versus nurture. I don't care what it is. I need a theme. Like, I need to know what the point of this movie was. I need to know the point. So that's my third thing. I think I'm running out of stuff, really, to be real.
Honestly, it's okay. I think just whatever you can think of.
An amazing soundtrack. I think that's really important to me. Even I always pay attention to music, and people always think like, oh, only for musicals, but no, like normal movies should have an amazing score or soundtrack or whatever it is. Guardians has like one of the coolest soundtracks ever.
Oh, for sure.
How to Train Your Dragon score is amazing. Like every movie I've listed, I do know songs from the movie.
Yeah, so that's obviously an important factor.
So it's an important factor to me. Music is always an important factor. And fifth, I think it's one of the biggest too, is the characters. I need them to be relatable and flawed, and like, I hate perfect characters. Put them away. I don't need it. I don't want to see it. We don't love to see it. I need the characters to be relatable, or to like remind me of somebody that I actually know. Even if it's not me, it's like I can see this person being a person. Like, I feel like I could,
like, you see them as a person and not a movie character.
Yes, like, I don't like characters who I'll only have one aspect to them and I don't know anything else about them. It's just like, especially as in a main character. I feel like side characters, sometimes it happens, but I think it's those are the 5 top things. I think. Yeah,
not to promo my own movie, but I mean, that's what I love too about Chef, where it's like those the people in it just seem like you don't feel like you're watching a movie at one point. You feel like you're just looking at people living their life stuff, and doing their thing, kind of
living my best life. Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah. Okay, about you. How about you?
Okay, well, some of mine obviously are going to be similar, but I personally, I need the ending to be good. I feel like that's really important to me. Like, I've seen a couple movies, especially recently, where the whole entire movie is kind of like, okay, but then the ending, like, really sets it off for the whole thing. Where the ending really makes you, like, rethink everything. Yes. Like, those endings are really good, too. Or, like I said before, in that case, if it's not going to be like that, I like a good, like, feel-good ending. Like, I want to finish the movie, like, being happy that I just spent the last hour, 2 hours, whatever, watching it.
Make it worth it. You have to make the ending. Yeah, exactly.
Whether that be like a super twist ending, like at the end, or just everything wrapping up super nicely at the end. Like, as long as I finish the movie and I'm like, this was really good, I'm really happy that I just spent my time watching it. That's good, because I feel like I've told you this too, but when I don't like a movie, I just don't finish it. Like, I don't sit through a movie that I don't.
Oh, really? No, I always finish a movie because I need to.
Not really, unless I'm in theaters. Obviously I will. Like, I've only ever walked out of one movie in my entire life. So
what was it?
I don't even remember the name. It was this stupid like cartoon. It was an animated movie, but it was like something about pirates. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like weird. This pirate animated movie. It's like, I don't know if it was like stop motion. One of those, maybe not.
I think I know what you're talking about. It starts with like, it's like Roku or Zoku or Kugo or something like Kuko.
No, I don't know. Hold on. Let me look it up. It's like Pirates stop motion movie.
It was like,
oh my God, it's called The Pirates Band of Misfits.
Oh, okay.
It's like a stop motion movie. I just walked out. I'm like, why am I here? This is stupid. That's the only movie I've ever walked out of in my life. But usually if I'm like sitting at home or whatever watching something, if I don't like a movie, I'm just gonna stop. Like, I'm not gonna finish it.
I need to finish it to roast
it. So I like the movie to have, you know, some kind of good ending where I'm like, okay, I'm glad that I actually sat through this whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's important. Another thing that's important is a really, like, this is super vague, but like a really good plot where it's like, for you, like you said, you don't mind a simple plot. I personally like complex plots, like even things like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or whatever, where it seems like simple. It's a really complex story, and I like how they even added a storyline with his like background, like his flashbacks and whatever. Like, I like, the more things are going on, the more I like it. I need to be like trying to keep up with like what's going on. I personally really like that. That's why I like thriller movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like complex stories, whether that be super obvious complex stories like Inception, or something that's maybe a little more subtle, where after you finish watching it, then you realize how complex the story actually was. Maybe something like Parasite, where it seems like a super simple story at first, but then when you really dive into it, you're like, oh no, this is a really, like, there's levels to this type of thing.
Yeah.
Another thing for me, which obviously is not going to apply to all of my favorite movies, but I think the nostalgia factor really plays heavy into what movies I end up liking. And I feel like that's never really gonna change. I can't really change what movies I watched as a kid, but I'll always like hold those movies like near and dear to my heart. Movies that I watched as a kid, like they'll never be bad to me, just because like I always just go back to that time in my life where I watched them and where I loved them. So
yeah,
that's always important to me. And I don't know. I just always like a little something. Like, give me a little like, what do you call it? A little je ne sais quoi to a movie. Like when a movie has something like special about it. Like whether it could be anything, like something different. Like the thing I can think of right now is like the movie Memento. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's a movie that's told backwards.
Yes, I do know about that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like like the scenes are obviously like regular, like forward, but every scene is like backwards. So it's like the last scene is played first, and then and so on and so forth. Like, just give me a little something special, you know what I mean? Or something like the movie Dunkirk. I don't know if you've seen that one either, but it's like that war movie. Where no, it's not one shot. That's, I think you're thinking of 1917, but Dunkirk is like, so it's 3 storylines that are happening all at the same time, except one storyline is over the span of like 3 months, the other one is 3 weeks, and the other one's 3 hours or whatever it is. I forgot what it is, but they're all intertwined to make it seem like they're all happening at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I love cool things like that where it's like a little something to it to make it different, original, you could say, that kind of thing. I love that. So yeah.
Alrighty, guys, that was a good episode.
That was a good discussion we had there.
Discussion, yeah.
We both we both hope that you check out our favorite movies because
do it.
They're amazing.
Mine are not even that hard, bro. Like, if you have Disney Plus or Netflix,
you could probably find most of those on there,
except for She's the Man. Netflix, what are you doing?
Chef used to be on Netflix, and then they took it out, even though the show that was based on Chef is still there. So I'm kind of mad about that.
I'm just like, bruh, there was a time where Netflix had all the Amanda Bynes movies, and I was living, and then they done goofed and took it off.
Maybe they're on Disney Plus.
No, I haven't checked. So it's actually annoying. It's like, I feel like I have to buy the DVD at this point. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, 3 out of 5 of my movies are on Netflix, so there you go. Yeah. Inception, Bad Genius, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, all on Netflix.
How to Train Your Dragon is on Netflix. Tangled and Guardians of the Galaxy are on Disney Plus, and Life as We Know It is also on Netflix. So there you
boom,
go.
Watch these movies. You got time.
You have stuff to do during quarantine. Yeah, like,
exactly.
Let's get it.
All right.
Okay.
So we hope you enjoy. As usual, subscribe. Give us a good rating. Tell your friends. Follow us on Instagram, FlickChicksPod. And we'll catch you next week.
Yes, we will.
Bye.